Hi Mary Jane, it's Will LeStrange here, and this is the video walkthrough for the property on West 52nd Street, Indianapolis. So I've taken a good look at this, and a few things are coming up which we need to pay attention to. So I think, for simplicity's sake, we will go through the photographs from the realtor's site because they're pretty comprehensive. They cover most angles of the property, and I've got some notes here which I want to just feed back to you about the whole place. So when we spoke on the phone, I picked up that there was a spirit in the house. I could sense that just through your presence, and so yes, indeed, there was just one spirit which I've now helped pass on, and so the house is now clear of of that particular energy. There's another energy on the site that's blocking also, which is to do with the water on the site. Now, we'll need to have another conversation about what was actually going on with the water, but I can see from the front here, there's a little bridge or a walkover here, and it looks like there's a drain that goes underneath the pathway from the road. So my guess is that there's probably a collection of water that happens around here at some point, and maybe that affects the back of the property also. In the Tibetan tradition, they have a very clear, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, they have a very clear understanding of a spirit life force that accompanies water, that is the kind of animated life force that goes with water. They call it the Naga spirit. And oftentimes on sacred sites, there's a special shrine or even a little temple that's built to honor the Naga. Now you could say, well, that's just old religion or old folk superstition. But from all the research, it shows that there is something in this. So what I'm actually detecting is that there is what you could possibly call an unhappy water spirit on this site. In real terms, what does that really mean? Well, it could mean that there's a blockage of water somewhere on the site. Maybe a waterfall or a fountain that's gone bad and got blocked. A well that's been covered up or blocked or gone bad, maybe gone stagnant. It could be a water issue, so we'll need to have a conversation about that specifically and see if we can uncover something that's going on there, which we can then take the next course of action. The other thing I've observed from the aerial photograph, which is picking up another weak energy spot on the property, is right here with this tree. Now everything else is in full leaf at the moment, and this tree appears to be dead. Now, I don't know if this tree is still standing. It's a little bit difficult for me to tell which one it is from here. Let me see. It's more or less aligned with that the bridge. It's sort of there and set back slightly. So if I look at it here, you can tell me aligned. Could it be one here? There's a tree here that may be dead, maybe not in leaf, or maybe I don't know, but there's an energetic weak spot there which we'll need to talk about. Typically, if we have any dead trees standing on a property, from a Feng Shui point of view, they need to be cut down. They need to be removed. You've got this dead energy in the chi. The dead chi on the site is not helpful. So the dead tree. Oh, the other thing we need to make sure is the mailbox out here is really clean and freshly painted, and the number for the house is really clearly seen. Maybe, if it's not, if they've got a bit tarnished, or, those, depending what type of numbers you've got on there, whether the sticky type labels have gone, sometimes they get tarnished and lose their shine, then you need to upgrade that. You need to get someone to spray it with get some aerosol and spray the whole thing, clean it, spray it, put some fresh numbers on it so it looks really crisp and sharp. Curb appeal is really important. So that's the first thing on here. And I'm just going to scoot through these images, and this is all okay, and yep, this looks great. I need to get down to number 25. What have we got down here? If this is one of the master bedrooms, we've got a slight issue with the size of the bed. I mean, it's okay, and I know that this furniture is not in the place at the moment. I'm aware of that because I've gone through the Airbnb pictures, and I've seen that we've got this sort of more modern, lighter makeshift kind of operation going on here, which I think is not working in your favor. When I go back and look at this with the more classical furniture, it seems to be more befitting for the style of the home. And so I think that's kind of, we need to talk about that as well, in terms of how you're actually showing the house at the moment. I don't think this furniture, the Airbnb type You know, the light modern IKEA type furniture is really doing it for you. So we need to have another conversation about that. In this case, just in this image, particularly the bed, you know, where you've got a queen size bed in here, or possibly, I don't know, maybe a king, but it looks like a queen. It's a little bit big for the room, which can make the place feel small. If the furniture's too big, that could be a negative against you. And then if we look at this one, there's just too much furniture in here. This guy needs to come out. And again, I know it's not here at the moment, but if one were to reset the room according to this, there's no need for this to be in here. There's probably no need for this to be in here. So we could certainly lighten this. Just looks rather cluttered. It could be stripped down. This is great. This is all good through here. It looks beautiful. It looks elegant. Really well lit. There's a lot of great things. Very likable. I mean, I think the house is very stylish and very beautiful. And so this looks tremendous. I think this could be sort of tidied up a little bit for the show, you know, for the staging of the house. This could be just a little more, I mean, it looks great, it looks lived in, but just a little bit more tidiness there would help. Let me see, we're at 21. Let's go down to same deal there. This is all okay. This is fine. Again, the staging is simple and elegant. It's all good. Same here. And we need to come down to, this looks good in the dining room. I would not have 2 chairs at the table. I would put 4 chairs at the table. It just looks a bit empty at the moment, like only 2 people would live here. And if you're going to have the table set with only 2 place settings, that doesn't look so good either. It only lends itself, it implants the idea that only a couple would live here. Again, it makes the house feel like it's only big enough for a couple, not for a family. So I would either do away with that altogether, or put 4 or even 5 chairs around this table and take the place settings away. Again, now this is in the little guest house. This is all great. It looks good. In a strange way, it kind of looks even a little bit contrived. It looks a bit overstaged. It looks a bit cute and a bit kind of chintzy. I think it's, you know, these cases and everything. I'm not sure. You know, if it was. It could be simplified somewhat, just made a little simpler. It looks a bit Homes and Gardens, to be real, really. So I would simplify that just a little bit. This space, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. The plant up here looks strangely out of place. This needs to be staged, at least with a rug on the floor, to break up the whole area, like a beautiful rug, maybe some bean bags, that type of thing, where it's sense that you'd be more sat on the floor, or just a chaise longue, something up here. I wouldn't go to the extent of putting a bed back in here. Again, I'm guessing is this the same space, but with, yes it is, isn't it? That is the same space, but with the bed removed, or is it the opposite end? Either way. Hang on, what's going on there? This is metal furniture. This shouldn't be in a bedroom. This is like outdoor furniture. This really shouldn't be here. If it is metal, I know it sort of picks up the theme of the bed here, but I don't think that looks like garden furniture. Same deal here. This is kind of okay. It's a little bit overstaged. Okay, the back deck. So what are we on? Yeah, number 11. I got some notes here. Okay, the grill looks really shabby. This needs to be power washed, and it needs to be sprayed with black paint again, cleaned up. It's kind of letting the whole space down. The deck needs to be power washed, and all this foliage needs to be got rid of. It has to look really sharp and fresh. Look, you can see it's growing up through here. It looks overgrown. It doesn't look so good. The patio furniture also needs to be power washed and sprayed, cleaned up, so it looks really sharp and fresh. The mats, I think they look probably okay. Again, new mats outside the doors, again, give a real sharpness, a freshness to the place. I would remove the umbrellas out of these 2 here. Again, because the umbrella fabrics, they get shabby very easily. They don't need to be there when they're down. It doesn't help. So take those away, put them into storage. Okay, another dead tree stump here. This needs to be cut down, just cut out completely. Cut to the ground. Doesn't have to be, you know, do the stump grinding on it, but just cut it level to the ground. That needs to be gone. Let me see, where are we? Number 10. Yeah, I've mentioned the umbrellas already. Okay, on the front of the house, it would be great if you could move that planter or one of the planters from the back and put it in front of this drain, this vent that's from the basement. So it looks a little ugly from the road. I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, was this a fire pit? Just whatever it is here just looks kind of untidy and shabby. So if there's a well there, that would speak to the problem with the water spirit that's going on here. But my guess it's probably not. But we need to have a conversation about this. I need to find out more what's going on here. This needs to disappear, if it can. Okay, this is a really big deal now. I've done the Feng Shui astrology for the place. Let me just pull this up here. Now, because we are south-facing, there's a particularly unhelpful energy over this door at the moment. And I'm guessing this is the door that's typically being used to take people in and show them. This door shouldn't be really used at this time. It needs to be kept still, not use it very much. Instruct the realtor that when they bring people to the house, have them come through the main grand entrance here. And what we need to do is really beautify this. We need to get some planters either side with some fresh growth, either just off the edge of that step in here, either some potted trees. This needs to put a real focus that this is the main entrance to the doorway. It's not like, at the moment I can see it's been done here because this is considered the main entrance at the moment, but we need to shift it. We need to get it over to here because this is where the money chi is at the moment. This is where the sickness chi is at the moment. So this is going to bring sickness and indecision and blockage to the house. This is going to bring prosperity and money to the house. So we need to focus on this. Things like polishing the brass on the door handle, anything that's going to get that door washed and looking really sharp, anything that we can do to get it looking really shiny, really radiant around that area. Any work that needs to be done, if this is gravel in front of the house, we've got to make sure the weeds aren't showing through the gravel. If this is a bed here, we'll make sure it's looking really good. Just raise the game as much as we possibly can. Come on to number 8 now. Okay, so yeah, here we are. This furniture here is not really serving any purpose. It could be moved and it could be put right here. So what it's doing is kind of holding the energy and have it slightly on this corner. So what it does, as you come in and walk along the path, you easily walk past this one, and then there's something that's catching and holding, like cupping the energy just here, that then puts the focus onto here. So this chair, the little low table, and the other love seat could easily do that to hold the energy on this corner and put a focus on there. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. Let's run back down through the rest of them. Same again here. I'm a little curious about what this little gazebo is about. It looks very beautiful, elegant. I'd just like to know a little bit more about what's going on there, because I know it's got this old pump underneath there, whether that's decorative or whether there is a well on the site. I'd like to find out more. We could possibly use some of these planters over on the front of the house to make use of these. These could be good. They could be moved. They're not really helping here, but they could be moved over to the front of the house to mark the front door. There we go, same deal. Yeah, tell me more about that place. There's a little, looks like we need a repair on the roof up there. Just a quick handyman repair would help. Okay, water, some kind of pond or waterfall, water feature going on here. This has to be really clear and flowing if it is moving. The challenge here is the water is flowing away from the house. This is taking wealth, money away from the house, and then I don't know where it goes, if it drains off again or just circulates up through here. But for the time that you selling the house, we need to have a conversation about this. I'm not quite sure. This might be the controller. I don't know what this is here. It may be the switch for the pump or the motor for the pump. We need to check out what's going on here. But there's a few little tiny details that just need to be taken care of. But water flowing away from the property is not good for money. So we need to have a conversation about that. I don't see the garage in any of this photograph. So I don't know what story the garage is telling us. And then we've got this rather curious, quaint little house here in the back, which I think is really charming. Again, I'm curious about the use of this theme. I'm looking at these water pumps everywhere that maybe are connected or not connected. I'm guessing this is just decorative. I'm assuming this might be a couple of breakages in the stained glass, a couple of breaks in here. We need to get that covered up with something, even if you just put a little piece of green plastic over, not even real glass for now, but something that's close and it's just stuck on with a bit of silicone, just so that the hole is, we don't want to see a hole there. And then this looks like it was set from a long time ago, because this had real thatch on it, didn't it, at one time? So this is an older picture, I'm guessing. That's okay. That's good. Looks beautiful. And then the kitchen, I can see you spent a ton of money in the kitchen. Looks amazing. Beautiful again. I think we're all okay in there. Same deal here. Looks all good. Back to the front. So that's my main stuff. So take a look at that. See what you think. I've got the list of notes here, and then we need to get on the phone and have another conversation about all these points and what we can do to change things. But the good thing is the spirit has comfortably moved on now. It started off, there was a scale of health. Remember I said I do a scale of health 0 to 1,000 on a property. We were somewhere around 680 out of 1,000, which is okay but not great. We've moved the spirit on, which has brought us up to 780. If we can deal with the water spirit, I know that's going to bring us up to 880. And then with the other smaller details, the other kind of physical changes that we need to make and get the styling done on the house better, we need to talk about, where that furniture is, if we can get some of it back again, what's going on there. We need to find out if we can get this up over 900, somewhere towards 900, we should be good. Stand a better chance of getting some serious attraction. So that's that in terms of the physical and the energetic principle on the property. The other thing that I'm really picking up is what we touched on at the end of our conversation the other day, is where you are in your process of letting go of this. And we need to have another conversation about that, because my sense is that you haven't really let go of this. And like I said to you, there are three main Feng Shui reasons why a property doesn't sell, aside from the other obvious common or garden ones about location and price, etc., etc. I mean, this photograph looks beautiful. It's well shown. It's, the photographs are really great. But when we look at the real details of the place, we need some real attention to detail to just sharpen the whole thing up. But remember me saying there's three main reasons. There's either spirit in a property, there may be geopathic stress, or some other energetic disturbance on the property. Well, there's no spirit now. There is a little bit of energetic disturbance from the water spirit, or maybe from one of the dead trees. But the other third and most important thing is whether or not the client or the seller is truly ready to let go and move on. So I can help you with that. We can go through what needs to be done that's going to help you along with that process. And it's really profound. I've seen it so many times where people have got their place on the market and it's not selling, and they're doing all what feels like all the right things, and then when we scratch the surface and have a really authentic heart-to-heart conversation about what's really going on, it's nothing to do with the house, it's to do with your life. And so that, at a very profound psychic level, has an effect. There's a psychic energy around anything that we focus our attention into. There's this amazing energy that science is just starting to get some kind of understanding about this, with morphic resonance and quantum fields and things like this. We can start to get a sense of this. So we need to have a conversation. So I hope this is helpful. Go through it a couple of times, maybe make some notes, and then let's get on the phone and let's have a conversation, and we'll get this thing sold. Okay, I'm done for now. Speak to you soon. Okay, thank you.